Most men are playing the game wrong. They think women are attracted to what they say, compliments, good manners, nice conversations. That's why they keep losing to the guy who barely talks, barely tries, and still gets her attention. Here's the hard truth. Attraction isn't logical, it's emotional. And if she's not interested in you right now, that doesn't mean she can't be. It just means you haven't triggered the right switch yet. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to look like a model. You don't even need to chase. In fact, the more you chase, the more invisible you become. Women aren't drawn to what's easy. They're drawn to what feels powerful. And power doesn't beg. It doesn't ask for attention. It draws attention by just being there unapologetically. This is where most men fail. They try to convince a woman to like them. They think effort equals results. But in attraction, the opposite is true. The less you try, the more she wonders. The more she wonders, the more she invests. Curiosity creates attraction. Confidence turns it into desire. The woman you want may not see you right now. She may not care. But if you know how to move, how to position yourself, how to control what she feels without saying a word, you'll flip the script. She'll start noticing you differently. She'll feel something she can't explain. That's where the game changes. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to attract any woman, even if she's not showing interest right now. Real moves, real results. No begging, no chasing, just power, presence, and the right pressure. Let's break it down. 7 tactics, 7 shifts. 1. Pull back your attention. Here's the first move that flips everything. You stop giving her attention. Sounds simple, but most men can't do it. The moment a man feels ignored, he does the opposite of what works. He leans in, starts over texting, compliments her more, offers help, checks her stories, likes her posts, and tries to stay in her orbit. All of that makes him easy, predictable, weak. Women don't chase what they already have. They chase what they think they're losing. Pulling back isn't about playing games. It's about creating space for tension to grow. When a woman sees you're not watching her every move, when she feels your energy is no longer centered around her, she starts to feel the shift. That's when the thoughts start. Why did he stop texting me? Is he seeing someone else? Did I mess this up? You haven't said a word, but now she's thinking about you. That's power. The key is to not fake it. Don't pull back for 3 hours and then cave in with a late-night text. That's weakness in disguise. Pull back for real. Focus on your own life. Level up in silence. Train, build, connect with others. When your energy is genuinely focused on yourself, she feels that difference. That's when attraction begins. It doesn't come from proving yourself. It comes from removing yourself. Understand this. Distance creates desire. If she knows exactly where you stand, there's no mystery. And mystery is oxygen for attraction. When you pull back, you give her mind room to work. She starts to project things onto you, wonder what you're doing, and doubt her own position with you. That's the beginning of emotional investment. The problem is most guys are too impatient. They want results fast. But attraction doesn't work on your schedule. Women feel in waves, not in logic. When you take a step back and let her miss you, she may not react instantly, but the seed is planted. And if you hold your ground, it starts to grow. This one tactic alone has flipped entire situations. Women who once ignored texts suddenly reach out. Women who used to seem cold begin asking questions. You didn't beg. You didn't chase. You simply removed your attention. And that made you powerful. Men who master this move stop being emotionally dependent on how a woman feels today. They build quiet strength. They stop chasing validation. And the moment a woman sees that, she sees a man who doesn't need her. That's when she wants him. 2. Stay unavailable emotionally. Most men are too easy to read. The moment a woman gives them a little bit of interest, they pour out everything. Their feelings, their intentions, their plans, even their weaknesses. They give too much too soon and too emotionally. That might feel honest, but in the early stages of attraction, it's a turn-off. Why? Because emotional availability too early feels desperate. It tells her you've been waiting for someone to come along and save you. That's pressure, not attraction. Staying emotionally unavailable doesn't mean being cold or heartless. It means being in control of your emotions. It means you don't allow her behavior to shift your mood. If she texts, cool. If she doesn't, still cool. You stay centered, steady, unshaken. That's the energy that draws women in, not the man who over-explains or tries to force emotional connection before it's earned. Think about it. A woman can't be intrigued by a man who's emotionally naked in the first few conversations. There's no mystery, no edge, no room for her to figure you out. And if she can figure you out too fast, she moves on just as fast. Women are emotional detectives. They want to decode a man. They want to be curious. But when you lay everything on the table, you kill that curiosity. Being emotionally unavailable also protects your mind. You don't get attached to how she feels today. You don't let her temporary interest become your emotional anchor. Instead, you let her prove herself over time. You let her earn your vulnerability. That's masculine. That's high value. That's rare. And because it's rare, it's attractive. This doesn't mean you become a robot or act like nothing affects you. You just don't let emotions control your moves. She doesn't get to see the full version of you early. You give her enough to feel your presence, but not enough to feel your soul. That takes time, that takes consistency, and most importantly, that takes patience. The moment she starts wondering what you feel, how deep you go, what's going on behind your eyes, that's when attraction is born. You've now taken her from logic to emotion, and once a woman is in an emotional state, she becomes more invested, more curious, and more open to you. Real men don't rush emotional connection. They lead. They set the pace. They control the vibe. They give her the experience of wondering, not the full story. This is why the guys who always say, "I just wanted to be honest," or "I was being real with her," end up alone. Being real doesn't mean being reckless. You don't give access to your emotions just because she's attractive. You protect that. You keep it guarded. And when you finally let her in, it means something. 3. Trigger her competitive side. Women don't chase men who are standing still. They chase men other women are watching. When a woman sees that a man is wanted, desired, or even just respected by other women, it changes how she sees him, even if she never noticed him before. This is real. It's instinct. It's raw psychology. Women are wired to desire men who hold value in the eyes of others. That's why you must learn to trigger her competitive side. Here's the truth. Women compete silently. They don't come out and say, "I want him," because she does. But it's happening underneath. When a woman sees that another woman laughs at your jokes, touches your arm, posts with you, or even just looks at you a certain way, she doesn't even need to know why she's reacting. She just starts seeing you differently. This is called pre-selection. You are now pre-approved in her emotional system. This is why men who are always alone or constantly chasing one woman get ignored. There's no social proof, no sign that he's valuable to women. But when she sees you with others, especially other attractive women, she starts to feel that pressure. It's subtle but powerful. Pressure makes her want to win. She doesn't want to lose the opportunity. She doesn't want to be left behind. So what do? You don't fake it. You build a life where you naturally interact with women, friends, co-workers, events, places where you're seen and respected. You don't hide your connections. You don't act desperate for female company. You simply stay socially relevant. You keep women in your world. And when she sees it, She feels it. This tactic works best when you stay calm. Don't brag. Don't flex. Just let her see that you're not starving for her attention. Let her observe you moving with other women, laughing, talking, vibing without her being the center of it all. That alone creates tension because now she's wondering what those women see in you. She's asking questions in her head. Who is he really? Why is he not trying with me? What do they know that I don't? That's when attraction turns real. When she's questioning, she's investing emotionally. When she's observing instead of ignoring, you've already shifted her focus. You didn't beg. You didn't convince. You just positioned yourself as the prize, and the prize doesn't chase. Most guys want to be the only one. They think loyalty means ignoring everyone else before anything even starts. Wrong. That's not loyalty. That's insecurity. The best thing you can do is make her compete without even trying. When she feels she's not the only one who sees your worth, she works harder to stand out. Don't force it. Just stay visible. Stay active. Stay respected. Let her see the world you move in and let her realize she wants a place in it. 4. Speak less. Watch more. The man who talks too much ruins his own game. He overexplains, overshares, overreaches, and in doing that, he kills curiosity. Women are naturally intuitive. They don't need you to fill in every silence with words. They want to feel you, not hear everything about you. This is why the man who knows how to stay quiet and watch carefully builds more attraction than the man who won't stop talking. Speaking less is not about being distant or cold. It's about control. It shows restraint. It sends the message that you're not trying to sell yourself. Women are used to men trying to impress them, talking nonstop about their careers, their dreams, their ideas, trying to convince her he's the one. But when you don't fall into that pattern, when you don't try to win her over, you instantly stand out. Let her talk. Let her fill the space. Ask a sharp question, then go silent. Watch how she responds, how she looks at you, how she fidgets, how she tries to interpret your silence. This is where power sits, in your ability to hold your frame, to not need to fill the air, to be okay just being present. That presence alone creates weight. The less you say, the more she thinks. And when she starts thinking, she starts feeling. She begins wondering what's behind your calm eyes, what you're not saying, what you're really about. That's how you create emotional depth. Not by over-explaining, but by under-delivering and letting her imagination do the work. When you speak, be intentional. Say things with purpose. Don't ramble. Don't try to fill gaps. Let silence work in your favor. The man who is comfortable in silence sends a clear message. I'm not anxious. I'm not desperate. And I'm not here to entertain you. I'm observing. And that makes her feel like she's the one under the microscope, not you. That flips the dynamic. This is also how you gather data. A woman will reveal everything if you let her speak freely and you stay calm. Her insecurities, her goals, her habits, her red flags. You just have to stay sharp. Let her do most of the talking. People always tell on themselves, especially when they think you're not judging them. And when she feels seen without you saying much, she starts to respect you more. Women associate silence with strength, not weakness. The man who doesn't talk too much doesn't feel the need to explain himself, and that alone creates a magnetic pull. She wants to know more, dig deeper, ask questions. You become the mystery, the challenge, the one who doesn't just hand himself over. When a man knows how to speak less and watch more, he becomes unforgettable. Not because he's loud, but because he's rare. 5. Master detachment. One of the biggest mistakes men make is caring too much too early. They meet a woman, feel a little spark, and suddenly she becomes their entire focus. Every message she sends carries weight. Every silence feels like rejection. Every move she makes is analyzed, overthought, and emotionally loaded. This is not attraction. This is emotional slavery. And the man who lives like that will always chase, never lead. Detachment is not about being cold or pretending not to care. It's about staying in control of your inner world. You never allow a woman's actions or inactions to shake your identity. You don't fall apart if she pulls back. You don't become more eager if she withdraws. You don't try harder when she gives less. You remain centered. You stay calm. You walk like nothing is missing because to you, nothing is. The reason this works so powerfully is because it removes pressure. When a woman senses that your emotions are not hanging on her responses, she begins to relax. She doesn't feel the weight of responsibility for your self-worth. That freedom makes her more drawn to you, not less. It makes her see you as solid, grounded, and unshakable. And that kind of energy is rare in today's dating world. Detachment also shows her that you're not outcome dependent. You're not talking to her with a hidden agenda. You're not reacting based on whether or not she likes you. You're just there being your full self, unaffected, unbothered, and completely present. That's when she starts investing emotionally. That's when she leans in, wondering how she can capture your attention, not the other way around. Here's the truth. Women only chase what they're afraid to lose, and they're only afraid to lose a man who shows them, without saying a word, that he's not afraid to walk away. When you live with that kind of emotional independence, everything shifts. She senses your strength, she feels your power, and she starts trying to win you instead of testing you. Most guys don't understand this. They think effort means constantly proving themselves. They think more texts, more calls, more compliments will get her attention. But it's the opposite. The more you need her, the less she wants you. The more you detach, the more she chases. This doesn't mean you ignore her or play games. It means you focus on your purpose, your routine, your peace. She becomes part of your world, not the center of it. You show interest, but you don't attach your value to her response. If she stays, fine. If she leaves, also fine. That mindset is what makes you a man she respects, not just someone she uses for validation. Mastering detachment is mastering freedom. It's knowing that you are the prize, and the prize never begs to be chosen. 6. Make her feel seen. Most men look at a woman's beauty and get hypnotized. They get caught up in her looks, her body, her presence, and they start acting like every other guy, complimenting her non-stop, agreeing with everything she says, laughing at things that aren't funny, all in hopes of getting noticed. But here's the truth. A woman is tired of being looked at. What she wants is to be seen. That's the difference between a boy chasing beauty and a man capturing her soul. When you make a woman feel seen, you go beyond surface attraction. You notice things other men ignore, her tone when she talks about something she loves, the way her energy shifts when she's comfortable, the hidden meaning behind her silence. You observe her not like someone trying to get something from her, but like someone who understands her. That's what makes a woman feel safe. That's what makes her feel connected. That's what turns curiosity into deep emotional pull. Here's what most men don't realize. Women are constantly misunderstood. They deal with shallow conversations, fake interest, and people projecting their fantasies onto them. So, when a man walks in and listens, when he asks the right questions, when he doesn't interrupt or try to correct her, she remembers that man because he gave her something rare. Emotional recognition, not approval, not praise, just clear, calm, focused presence. And you don't need to try hard to do this. You just need to slow down. Put your phone away. Look her in the eye when she speaks. Remember little things she says and bring them up days later. Ask questions that go a level deeper than the surface. Things like, what drives you? Or, what makes you feel alive? Let her talk. Don't jump in with your story. Let her feel the space you're giving her. That space becomes intimacy. When you can reflect her truth back to her, even things she didn't know she was showing, she starts to see you differently. You're not just a man chasing her. You're a man who gets her. And that's powerful because when a woman feels emotionally understood, she bonds, not just physically. Emotionally, that's when you go from just a guy to someone unforgettable. Now, here's the flip side. Never fake this. Don't pretend to listen just to manipulate her emotions. Don't use this as a script. Women are extremely intuitive. They can feel when your attention is fake. They can tell when you're pretending to care. The moment she senses that, she'll pull away completely. So, this has to come from a real place, a grounded present place, one that's not trying to take from her, just trying to see her clearly. When you master the ability to see her, not just look at her, you unlock something no amount of money or charm can replace. You touch her where it counts, and that's what makes her stay. 7. Make her feel you can walk away. Nothing shakes a woman more than a man who knows how to walk away. Not out of anger, not to play games, but from a place of complete power. When she senses that you like her but you don't need her. When she realizes that your interest doesn't override your standards, something flips in her mind. You're no longer just a man who wants her. You're a man she could lose. And that's when the game changes. Women are used to having control over men's emotions. Most guys, once they're hooked, become predictable. They tolerate disrespect, ignore red flags, and stay in situations that drain them just to keep the woman around. That's weakness, and she feels it. Every time you respond to being mistreated by chasing harder, every time you accept inconsistency without consequence, you teach her she doesn't need to respect you to keep you. But the moment you draw that invisible line, the one that says, if you cross this, I'm gone, and you mean it, that's when her respect grows. You don't need to threaten her. You don't need to give ultimatums. You just need to show her through your actions. You protect your energy. You protect your peace. And if something violates your self-worth, you leave. No drama, no begging, no explanation. Here's what most men don't understand. Attraction and respect are tied together. A woman cannot stay attracted to a man she doesn't respect, and she cannot respect a man who lacks boundaries. When you show her that you won't tolerate certain things, late replies, disrespectful tones, flakiness, manipulation, and you enforce that by stepping back or walking away, she sees you differently. You're not like the others. You're not available at all costs, and that creates emotional gravity. Women want a man they can't fully predict. A man who won't always say yes. A man who's pleasant but dangerous. Warm but not weak. Kind but not afraid to leave. When you become that kind of man, you stop competing. You stop chasing. You attract because you've positioned yourself as someone who values himself more than her approval. And yes, this will scare some women away. But those are TA.